First off, gentlemen, do either of you anticipate having to abstain from any of the voting tonight?
No.
Did you see any of the properties that are before us tonight?
I did not.
And I did not either. Have you spoken with anyone regarding the variance requests before us tonight?
No.
No, sir. Alrighty. First, we'll note that we do have a quorum and all three are here. Our first item is the approval of the agenda before us.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oops, we got to vote.
Oh, you can go, we'll just do a voice vote.
We'll just do that, okay.
Okay.
Good enough. Okay. For the minutes from the last meeting,
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
all right, we have it for the minutes of the June 18th meeting. We have a motion made to approve it. It's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Finally, we get down to business. Michelle Isaacson, come on forward. You can explain to us why you're here tonight and why you need a variance.
I purchased a home at 2871 Mount Carroll Drive. It's a corner lot. Okay.
Go ahead, Cindy.
It's a corner lot, and as a result of that, there's a considerable amount of my backyard. To me, it kind of seems like it's half of it that is taken because of that corner lot. And mine is the only lot on that street that is, I found out, is not 100 by 180. Mine, if you look, you can see where it's 70 feet. And what I was proposing is I'd like to put a deck back here. The door has been in since they built the home. The patio doors are there. So it's 25 feet from, here to their line. I just spoke to them today.
Okay.
But from there to their lot line. And then when I came to the city, they said that a corner lot is supposed to be 25 feet from the line. The deck is, if I'm correct. So the deck that I'm proposing is would go 10 feet out from the house and would be 15 feet from my neighbor's line.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be 10 feet by 16 feet. So then I discovered that I need to present or complete a variance.
Yes, that's, believe it or not, even though you have an odd-shaped lot, that is what the procedure is. We're infringing on the back setback, or I guess it's even a side yard setback, isn't it? In this case?
Technically the rear yard, I believe.
Rear, yeah. But without a variance, you can't build a deck. You pretty much
Right,
can barely
that's what I
go
was
out your
told.
door.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And then, is there anything else that I should be discussing
No.
or presenting?
No, I think your argument is that you've got an oddly shaped lot preventing you from doing what you'd like to do, and the question is, do we believe that that's enough of a hardship to provide a variance for the ordinance? Greg or Noel, do you have any questions of the applicant?
Have you talked to the neighbor? You said you talked to him?
I've talked to both Maureen and Joe, yes.
What do they feel?
They don't, they feel very comfortable. She actually came over today before the meeting because I had wanted to plant a couple trees this coming Friday.
Okay.
Small hemlocks, even in between where the deck would be, and I'm not going to go ahead with the deck this spring because I'm doing some updating in the house because the house is pretty dated. So appliances, and just pulled out all the carpeting, but no, she was there. They don't have any objection to it whatsoever. Was there anything else that stood out to you?
I think it was Also, like your house is the only one that's turned this way.
Yeah.
The house is facing this
My-
So your address is this,
Yeah, my
That's
address is on, I'm the only house that's not facing all of the other homes, the front of their homes on Queoff.
okay,
Yeah, I'm the only one not facing Queoff. I'm facing Mount Carroll.
what's your deck gonna look like?
It's actually, it's going to come, I'd like it to step down. I want it to be closer to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the reasons that I'm putting the trees, the hemlocks in now. It's going to be some trees and then a few, grasses, several grasses. It's been designed by a landscape designer.
Okay.
And flowers that can be changed out, and it'll be put on a drip system. It's not huge by any means, but it makes a difference between our two homes because I'm just looking at the brick at the end of their home right now.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay, ma'am, did you want to identify yourself for the record?
Oh, sure. I'm Julie Isaacson. I'm Michelle's daughter.
Okay. Is there anyone here that wants to speak for or against this? Alderperson?
I'm Alderperson Barb Dwarf for District 1, and I'm supportive of this plan, and I do see that it is a hardship. There's no way she could even put any deck on because of the distance from the patio doors
Right.
to the edge of the lot. So I'm very supportive. There have been no complaints about this at all.
Okay, good, thank you. Ma'am, if you have a seat, we'll talk quietly amongst ourselves.
Thanks.
Well, I look at this and I see the odd-shaped lot, but I also see that the house, the way it presents on the lot, is kind of, if you look at the line that's closest to where the deck is, the house is actually tilting toward it, and so this gets the thing kind of in the back. It's not like hanging out on the side, really. I mean, technically it may be, but in terms of the configuration of the property, the house is parallel to the other lot, and I think this makes this a backyard,
Right, that's the way we should look at it, I think. But it's just too small for the
Yeah.
house.
Right,
The
but the
house is
lot's
too big.
right, but it's a side lot depth,
Right, yeah.
but really the back of the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we run into this a lot with the corner lots, and
Mhm.
the size of it, the configuration of it makes it difficult. There's nowhere else to put it,
No,
put anything.
no, essentially it rolls out a deck of any type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the design and the distance and certainly planting some trees probably mitigates the non-compliance as much as possible here, and I don't have a problem with this.
No, neither do
I'll make a motion to approve the requested variance.
Second.
Okay, we have motion made and seconded to approve the variance requested by Ms. Isaacson for the Mount Carroll Drive. And we do get to your sign. So I will vote yes.
I'm voting yes.
I'd vote yes if I could.
Very good. To make a long story short, you got your variance.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we have the,
Thank you.
is Ms. Cook here, or is it just her representative?
Contractor.
Come on up.
Well, thank you very much. That's okay. How do you make it?
Okay. We have a front porch now.
Yep. So I am picking up from where a past employee left off.
Okay.
So I don't know 100% what this is a job from almost a year ago now. And so I know what we built it to. It's 4x12, 5 steps, I believe. I can look again. And I believe on this 4x12 with a railing and 5 steps. I believe on the street it's 34 square feet you can only have. At least that was from my understanding when
I
I
think
spoke
they
to the
said
inspector.
25.
What is that? Sorry.
I think they've said 25
25?
initially.
Okay. And one of the inspectors, forgot his name. He came out there and checked the deck over, said it was all built right. Something about the engineering of the deck, that is all built right already, because we already built it.
Okay,
We didn't have a permit,
okay.
and that's where I came in, tried to get a permit, and he wanted to check it out. So we went over there, checked it out. He looked at it, said, "Oh, this is 2 times too big, or almost." So, I mean, it's out towards the road. Or when you look at the other houses down the street, it looks like their porches are just as far towards the road as this one, but they're just not as long.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, so this doesn't violate if it were 25 square feet, it would be okay.
Right.
It's not really,
There's a stoop or a
It's not the
porch
setback, it's the
acceptable.
area.
it's not the setback,
it's the area.
Right.
It's the area within the setback. The maximum by policy is 25
Yeah,
square feet.
so he's in the setback.
He's in the setback, he's greater than 25.
If he was smaller, it'd be good. If too big. Okay. So this is a fait accompli, this thing is done?
I believe so.
Okay.
I was unable to look at it recently. That was about 3 weeks ago when I looked at it. Picked up some old materials and they're just finishing up the stairs on it, which would be inside that. What did you say? 25 square feet.
Yeah.
So that would be fine. It's the other part that was added, or that's, how do you explain it?
To the side of
It's-
the door,
Yeah. Yep.
kind of a back-in area or something. Yeah.
Yep. So that, I believe that's where we're running into problems. So.
Yep. Okay, I think we understand. You got any questions, Greg or Noel, of the applicant? All right, sir, if you could have a seat,
Right.
we'll talk it over. I guess I'm okay with this. This is,
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, I mean, he gets messed up because of the length, the width of it.
yeah.
I mean, if it was coming further out and the square footage was double the length, I might have a problem with it. But we're not, so
Well,
I'm okay with it.
it's like every house on the street on that block has pretty much just got a stoop, right?
Regular stoop.
They've just got they almost look like all unit steps or something. They've just got a concrete, porch.
Mhm.
Except for one on the other side of the block further down, but that one looks like the house is set farther back, so it probably doesn't go into that setback, but yeah, it's, what's the total width of, do you know the total width of that porch?
I believe 12 feet.
It says 13.6 wide.
Oh, okay, 13 and a half feet wide. Well, I mean, the only hardship here is that they built it without pulling a permit. It's a tougher one for me to see. There isn't some sort of a mitigating circumstance where, they could have complied by doing the exact same thing that everybody else has done up and down the street.
Mhm.
I'm okay.
I'm good too.
Yeah, I mean, probably it's a better looking porch. The one in the photo here is kind of rough.
You can make a motion, Greg, we can,
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the variance requested.
okay, I will second the motion made by Mr. Babcock. So we have a motion made and seconded to approve the variance at 615 Gray Street. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nate?
Okay, 2-1. 2-1, you're good.
All right. Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next up, the Conahers on Shawano Avenue.
I'm Matt.
yeah, the fence.
Yes. We're just requesting to maintain, we have a similar situation a little bit in compared to the last one, to maintain the fence height on the side of Locust. Based on the location of it, we are supposed to not be at the 6-foot height, which the rest of the fence is. But we're too close to the lot line, I believe, is what the variance is in regards to remain at 6 feet. Now, again, not the best sketch, but we do have the fence existing. The reason that is because we had it destroyed by a storm, and we had part of the fence happen about 5 years ago that happened, and when I came to discuss replacing it, at the time, there was a ordinance or variance, which I have, if you need, if you're interested in seeing it, about non-conforming structures and saying that you could replace it if it was damaged by an act of God, basically, whether it's worded a little differently there. So we were under the assumption that we could just replace it within the year because it was done by a tree falling onto the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So we replaced it and then found out that we needed to have more about it, including a work order for it. So we did get that. And then also, like I said, we replaced it exact to the dimensions that it was. We did not change it. Yeah, we didn't make any changes. So we have, obviously, even before we lived there and bought the house was there. There was vegetation, plant life, all built around that fence. So to move it would be a little difficult. So that's why we're coming in kind of on the back end of the story, because, again, partially on my own fault, I didn't research today's code, and I don't know if this code still exists, but I couldn't find it online like I had it for when I first met. It's 13-403. So that's why we went forward based off of our last conversation we had when we looked at replacing a single piece. So it is just for the 27 feet alongside Locust. You'll see the rest is already recessed. That was recessed from my understanding from the previous owner, so that the home next to us was able to see with their driveway, being able to pull out and see any sidewalk traffic or any other traffic. So we're set back for a corner lot. We're set back quite a bit. It's 54 feet from the beginning of the fence to the stop sign. So basically, the only other options we would have if we wanted to remain where we already were to either lower that section to 3 feet, according to code, or go to 4 feet and remove every other board. So it's 50% see-through. So essentially what you get to see is the front of my 6-foot fence or my home, and for that 27 feet. So that's why we're asking to keep it to fit and appearance-wise also for the rest of the fence. Anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, I'm looking at 13-403. That still exists, at least as far as I can see.
It does, okay. I couldn't find it online. I don't know if the code is still there. This is what I had from last night. So what it basically says, yeah, if you're reading it, I don't need to read it word for word.
So I assume that the argument the city would make is that it was a repair in the previous instance that he mentioned, but this is a replacement and it falls afoul of the new ordinance.
Right. Which is probably about 7.5 feet would be the setback requirement in that side yard.
I'm just looking at 1304 or 13403 E, and it says, if I can understand it, a non-conforming structure may be restored or rebuilt to its size, location, and use that it had immediately before the damage, except that it may be constructed larger in size to the extent required to comply with requirements. Construction shall start within 1 year. So does this not apply here? That we just have an interpretation issue of where it applies and where it doesn't.
Right, I'm kind of deferring to the inspector on this one, their interpretation being in the field. I might have viewed that differently, but that application came in as it is, and again, I defer to the inspector on that.
Okay. Now, traffic has seen this too?
They have, they've seen all the requests.
Okay, so they have not commented on the sightline issue with the neighbor's driveway?
They have not. It's not so much concerned with any sort of right-of-way, it's more with the drive itself, and being able to back out and be able to see.
So your garage is there too?
Correct. Yep, that is my garage. It's actually attached to the garage. But you'll see that it recesses 8 feet in, which what I was told when I had came in to discuss the variance was that recess section, which would be that 8 feet and then the 16 feet going towards my driveway, would not be part of the concern. That's all legal, because what the variance actually, or what I was told, was that the concern, the real debate here was that I needed to be 7.5 feet from the property line, and I was currently only 5 feet 9 inches to remain at 6 feet. So I would either have to move the fence back, the 27 feet of fence back that much farther, the foot and some odd inches, or bring it to, like I said, either 3 feet or 4 feet alternating boards.
Okay. But you're saying that the way that the fence was constructed is like it was before?
It is identical.
Okay.
It is identical, yep. And I did, in case you wanted it, I did bring the insurance claim, just so you know that it was started within the year
Okay.
of when it happened. But, yeah, we did not make any changes at all.
Your neighbor further up has seen this and
Yep.
knows what's going on, didn't have
Correct,
any
yep.
thoughts on it?
Yep, I've had a number of neighbors actually stop by that got the ordinances, make sure they asked if they wanted them to come and support me, but I told them that wasn't necessary. So, yeah, I've not heard any feedback negative. And like I said, it has been.
It's too bad
since
I've
we
been
purchased
swayed
it.
by just one more person.
Run one.
You're friends with all these people back there.
Right, yeah, new friends, if I go fast enough, right?
Questions, Greg or Noel? Okay, sir, if you could have a seat.
Thank you.
If it's an interpretation of 13403, and my interpretation would be that it's okay. And I suspect that's the issue.
I don't have a problem with it either.
I get that when we have, a change, a significant change in something, that we've got to bring it into compliance. And I certainly, would have a hard time second guessing, anybody on that with regard to a safety structure, building sort of thing. But a fence that's lived in a location for many years with landscaping on both sides of it and all around it, and it's part of the fabric of that property, replacing exactly what that is. I'd have a tough time, seeing that as
Right.
something that we should make them do.
Okay, I agree.
I agree too.
A motion would be in order?
I make a motion to approve the requested variance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded to approve the variance requested by the Conahers on, I got the right, you're Matt, right?
Yes,
Okay, I gotta make sure I'm saying this right.
No,
On Shawano Avenue. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I guess I must have gotten out here. Go back.
Thank you.
Anyway, you have your variance.
Thank you.
All the drama gets
Thank you.
taken away when you have
Right.
to go and vote like this. Okay, next up is the property on Josephine Circle.
Everyone else sat in that chair, so this appeared to be different.
All right. Okay, explain your situation.
I bought the house, never mentioned anything from the former owner about the fact that that wasn't done properly, so I, about 3 weeks after we owned it, got the letters that they had sent to the former owner stating that it was done illegally or done without a permit. I would like to keep it. The driveway itself it's a 2-stall garage with basically 1 stall of drive-in ability. And this gives the additional parking, so if you have 2 cars there, you can keep a car without having to move to get out of the garage, basically. So if you have a car in the driveway and not in the garage, you have to move it. With this, it allows you to have a second car there without having to move.
This was a fairly creative driveway expansion.
Yeah,
I've
from
not
what I
seen that
from what I
before.
understand, it was actually not that owner; it was the owner before. So it's been there for quite some time, but I was unaware of it as an issue until I got the letters.
So what was the origin on this one? Is this a complaint or,
It's been a long time code compliance issue. Yes.
so have neighbors complained or has the inspector been going by? And I guess I'm wondering if
I
it's.
don't know the origin, but it was simply a complaint at
Okay.
some point. It does probably predate 2 owners ago, I believe. It's been
Yeah.
ongoing for a number of years.
So I would just
But
like
not
to-
disclosed to you during the
not
purchase
disclosed to me during
process.
purchase. No, absolutely not. So yeah, and I didn't know, and I would like to keep it. So
Is this your primary residence? So you say ongoing, this didn't just come out of the blue, it's been an issue that you guys at least have been aware of for quite a while.
One of our housing and zoning inspectors been on this for, like I said, several years.
Maybe even several owners.
Well, yes.
Okay, well, that's interesting, that's very interesting.
I think the last date was, I think, the first one I got from the notification, the last one was 6/3 of last year, so a little over a year ago. Because he sent me copies of the former letters. Scott Nelson had done that.
Okay, so your argument would be that this has been there a while, clearly.
Space to park, maybe, right?
Yeah, you need space, it's not your primary residence, so presumably you're redeveloping the property and looking for sale.
Yeah, we're,
And
yes.
and from that other perspective of your own, then, you're hoping that you have a sale, an issue here that you could use to sell the property.
Well, I don't want to pass it on to the next people, of course, so.
Well, that's very interesting, I've never seen one like that before.
There, you can see there's a stump right there between them, so there was a tree
Oh,
there. and
yeah,
they-
okay,
They
that's-
split,
that's what
it
did
for
it.
the tree.
That was my assumption also, that they didn't want to move the tree. The tree apparently died. It's been there for so long, the tree died.
Well, it's
in the
because there's
meantime.
cars parking on either side of it, so.
Yeah, so that was my assumption too, is they didn't want to take the tree out, so they did the driveway to avoid that. But like I said, it's a 2-stall garage, but only 1 stall worth of drive to get into it.
So, if we deny the variance, can he just continue it on?
No, those orders will still be in place to remove whatever those.
No, I guess what I'm saying, Paul, is can he continue the concrete back to be alongside the garage? Or doesn't he have enough room?
Sure, I mean, well, I'm not sure the grade would allow that. I think it probably tapers off to the right.
Yeah, it
But
looks
you're
like-
right, I mean, if he had the room, sure, he could pull a spot behind the setback, sure.
Well, and even the orders that were sent don't say anything about removing it. It just basically says that you'd like the, a permit paid for and obtained, and, so it really doesn't say anything in here about taking that part out. So that wasn't actually even I didn't even see that as an option, so, but yeah, it doesn't say anything in here about taking it out. It was just more to get the variance in place and then pay for whatever the permit would have been to get it put in. So I guess I hadn't even looked at the fact that it might come out. That
Yeah,
wasn't really,
if we deny the variance, and then it's between you and the city, but I'm just trying to understand that what you've got there, at least in my sense, if you've got enough room on that side, is just too short. I mean, so you could conceivably go back.
Can we go back to the plan view?
Yeah. Is there a way we can tell?
Yeah, it's really not, because of the vegetation, there's really not a good
Yeah.
image there, but.
But
it would be
looking
tight.
at that stub, I mean, it looks like there's enough side yard. I mean, not necessarily the grading, but.
Right, you'd have to modify the grade probably.
Yeah, so just to be clear, and maybe in my mind only, it's, what's there is okay, but it stopped too soon. If it continued on to create another parking area alongside the garage, everything's fine.
Well, there's one component where there's no permits pulled for this as well.
Yeah.
So it's work without a permit, but you're right, I suppose if you could extend it around the side of the garage, create a spot, sure.
Yeah, if the, and I don't know if the petitioner understands, but I mean, if the driveway continued to go alongside the garage, and when you parked on that stub, you were next to the garage as opposed to in front of
Past the
it,
side of the house.
then, you're right, then you're good.
So it looks like you may have enough room, but,
That drops off pretty,
oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
may
can
not
see
be,
that.
pretty good right
Yeah,
there,
you gotta
so
do some
I'd have
earth moving,
to
but-
fill it all in and.
there'd be some
and more.
topography involved, no
Right.
question about it. Okay, questions, more questions, Greg or Noel?
No.
Okay, sir, if you could have a seat. What are your thoughts?
Well, my argument will be the hardship is the space. I think I'm for it. The additional space is the hardship. The failure to disclose is kind of an incidental hardship in my mind, but is a hardship in reality of it. And so that would be my argument for it. I'm okay with it.
Okay, I'm actually not. The concern that I have is that this has been something that's been ongoing. It didn't come out of the blue. So to a certain extent, there's due diligence involved on the part of the applicant. But also, what concerns me a little bit is that the argument the applicant is making is for this to be a sales point. And frankly, if this were, sir, if this was your primary residence, I may think differently.
Well, ultimately it is though, when looking at, not my primary, but it is going to be somebody's primary
It will be
residence.
somebody's.
So that point being, it's going to be the same thing, whether it's mine or when it goes to the next person, they're gonna have the same issues that I'm concerned with now, is they'll run into the same thing. And the other thing that I'm looking at is, I understand the due diligence part of checking, obviously, going through and checking everything that goes on and finding out everything that, may have happened. I understand ultimately it's my responsibility, but these are one of these things, this thing's been here for a long time. It's already starting to partially degrade, it's been there a while. So that being said, why would I have thought when there's something, if it was brand new, that would have been different. The fact that it is existing and has been there for as long as it has, that thought of it not being proper never even crossed my mind. But this will ultimately be someone's residence, and to not have that does make it difficult. It almost looks like the garage at some point was pushed over. It might have been a single stall at some point in its history,
Well, that could
and was moved over. It expanded to be the 2-stall. But now, like I said, you can put 2 cars in there. But when you put 2 cars in order to get one out, you've got to have some. You're going to have to come out and move it, and put something somewhere else. So my thought would be down the road, you're going to have someone that's going to be complaining because they're going to park in the grass, and there'll be an issue with that. So if it's been there as long as it's been, and the fact that it hasn't been, the other owners didn't deal with it properly, I don't have a problem paying if we need to go through the permit process and do that end of it. I don't have an issue with that, but just that it will ultimately be someone's issue to not have it.
You know me, this is the sort of thing I generally don't, I don't see that. For me, the hardship is that, the seller didn't disclose that to you. That's certainly, if they've got orders from the city, they should be talking about that with the buyer. But, and this is really unattractive as it is too. And it's out in front of everybody on the street. And I got some concern about that. It's like, I might be willing to go ahead if the permit fees are paid and those stumps are removed and this is cleaned up a bit, but I'm looking at it as it is. Now, mitigating that, I look at the house right down the street to the I'm assuming the east. It's the same situation. There's a driveway with a garage, and there's a slab board to the side of the driveway where there's a car parking in this, in front of the house. So people do this all the time, and it's only when they get caught that it's here at this table, right?
Correct.
I'm a little on the fence, I guess. I don't know if somebody spoke. Are you neighbors of this, or have an interest in this, or just okay? I mean, I guess like I said, I'm leaning towards no, but if it were, you know, my first thought is, let's see if it's engineerable to extend this to go next to the garage, and if it's, and if it is, require it, and if not, then allow it, but with the fees paid and the stumps cleared out, then I could get on board with that.
Should we, well, I guess it comes down to whether you're gonna vote yes or no.
Well, I guess, or make a motion that's as convoluted as what I just said, or we table it for 30 days.
That was what I was gonna.
And he takes a look and sees if he can re-engineer the side of the garage to extend the slab.
Yeah, I think that would be a reasonable thing to do. That
Well, I
would-
can, just up, as I'm sitting here now, I mean, the idea of what, just in my mind as I'm looking at cost to build that up and, you know, pour additional around the thing, I don't know that that's something that's gonna be functional for my end of things. I mean, it's gonna be thousands of dollars to do that. So the cost of, you know, taking it out versus extending that around. And I also look at it, then I'm taking up more of the yard. You know, you're parking next to the garage versus, you know, you're going 20 extra feet. The car's still gonna be sitting outside versus, you know, in the garage itself. So I don't know that that's, again, in my opinion, I don't know that that makes much of a difference as far as where it's actually placed. But the cost of extending that around is significant. If it was flat and we could just go in there and drop some forms in it and pour it, probably not a big deal. But it does, when you get to the back of that, it drops off probably 7 or 8 feet. So I mean, it's significant. So to fill that all in, make it look right, I'm gonna have to do some sort of retaining wall to put that in there, and then fill it, pour it. I mean, that's a lot. It's going to be a lot. And like I said, for not knowing that this was an issue in the beginning, that's a significant hit to what's going on. So
I think he was yes or no. I think that's what he
That's
said.
what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
So,
so I think I'm a no.
okay.
Why don't you lead on this one, Noel?
Yeah, regrettably, I would move to deny the request.
I will second Noel's motion. So we have a motion on the table to deny the request for the variance at the 716 Josephine Circle property. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of denying?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to denying?
Nay.
Sorry, sir.
so what does that mean at this point then? What do I?
Let's go back and work with the inspector on the orders and follow up with them.
So it's possible I'll be able to keep it yet.
Yeah, if they're willing to say, yeah, pay the fee and we'll leave you alone, that's between you
I
and
guess
them,
we'll have to talk about the options and the circumstances and see what.
So I need to get with Scott then, he's the one who wrote it up.
Right, and
Did I vote?
there's ways you can
You voted for it.
expand a driveway to take out the stump. You can still go 2 feet beyond the garage door. I mean, maybe some saw cutting, you could do some expansion, we'll have to talk about.
Okay. All right, so I have to contact Scott.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
sir. Finally, we have the Sims.
Oh, yes.
We thank you for your patience. You're the last
Thank you,
one.
gentlemen, and I apologize for the water. I have a condition
All right.
that I've been dealing with, and I can't really talk a lot.
Yeah, I'd have one if I had one.
It's that kind of weather. Okay, if you could explain what you want to do and why you think you should be able to do it.
I have a 12-year-old, and we're very active, and he's always wanted a basketball court. And we live on a pretty busy street. I don't condone playing in the front of any type of basketball or any type of ball because of the amount of traffic. So that spot there, we've always considered. It's a real private spot. But we play a lot of basketball. We use the courts, but he asked if he could have a basketball court, and we looked at that spot, and that's where we would like to put a 20 by 30 slab with an extension of the fence to keep the ball from going over the fence. 2 of my neighbors, they also have basketball courts there. That's a little diagram of what I tried to put up of where it would be. That corner there is pretty private, very, very green in the summer. So what I'd also like to do is put the growing vines that would grow up and make that green as well.
Okay. So is this a revision? Didn't we get something, maybe it was a solid fence at first? I'm trying to remember what the revision was.
Yeah, initially I didn't accept the application. So it just talked about the fence, and there was a basketball court also going on, and we wanted more details about where that was being placed, because we felt additional variances would be necessary. So the applicant was able to get stuff into us in time to amend the agenda.
Okay, so maybe you can review all the variances that are entailed here.
Sure. So the fence height obviously is one of them. You can see that additional height in the corner. Max height is 6 feet. This is going to, I believe, about 15 feet in height. There are other accessory structures on the property. You're limited to 2 accessory structures. If you count the pool and the existing shed, this will become a 3rd accessory use. Impervious coverage issues, I believe he's at about 57% right now. The code only allows 50. So with the addition of that court, that puts him over the 50% requirement. The pool is impervious, believe it or not. And then the setback issues with that court, it's an accessory structure, it's permitted, but you'd have to be 4 feet off the lot lines for any sort of accessory use. So there's side and rear setback requirements, and those are the 4 variances.
All right.
So there's a fence up right now?
I believe so.
Yes.
6 foot one?
Yes.
So what do your neighbors think?
They don't have a problem with it. They use my pool. They have kids, and they think it's okay idea.
So they know about what you're proposing?
Yes, yes, yes. I've talked to my neighbors that are.
So you're taking out all that landscaping and then putting the court right?
Actually,
is that what you're doing?
this is going to stay.
Okay.
This is coming out. That was pavers.
Okay.
Going back there. I've taken that out.
Okay.
I started doing that before I knew I had to do this.
Okay.
But it looks like, I'm looking at the photo here, it looks like that's already impervious, like it was all pavers or something.
Right,
there,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So
They had
that's part
pavers
of
back
that,
there
that's part
already.
of that.
Yeah, it's
What's
clearer
that?
on this picture than it was on there.
Sure.
It might be the same
What are you
picture.
talking about now?
This back corner where he's
Yeah.
looking at, it looks like it's already part of that impervious surface,
Oh.
you know, that.
There
they
were
already
pavers
had.
and they had.
It was like a patio or something
Right,
right back
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But we might treat that as landscaping compared to
Yeah.
solid surface basketball courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, is this something we see, the sort of extended fence for keeping the basketball in the yard or something like that? I mean, how?
I don't recall seeing anything in the past like that. I think it's somewhat unusual to see a fence that high. We've seen
That's kind of.
7, 8 feet in height. but-
Would it be fence or would it be netting or what would it actually, I mean, is it a?
In order for the vine to grow on there. And
Oh,
to
yeah,
make
you'd
it-
want to have something a little bit firmer.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, it's got to be a firmer type of fencing, so it would be link.
He makes the basket every time you want to worry about it.
I know, right?
But
But if I'm using it, it's a different story.
Paul, could he put this back court in and just not do the fence?
Well, that'd be one less variance, yes.
We can piecemeal this, right?
Sure. Yeah. You can pick and choose.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, let's say we granted him all the variances but the fence. And the neighbors start. You know, I'm trying to picture the neighbors sitting here too.
Well, the reason I talk to the neighbors is because two of the neighbors on that corner, they both have basketball courts, but they're further up. The one that's right behind me has a garden. And I'm a garden guy, I'm a flower guy, and I really wouldn't want the kids to have to go around,
Oh, yeah.
jump the fence. So that part of it is they didn't have a problem with. And that corner, I think their renters, they didn't have a problem with. My neighbor next door has 2 small kids, and they have a playhouse there. They come over all the time. So if their kid's out playing with the playhouse, and I really wouldn't want the water to go into their yard as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
The argument I'm trying to make, sir, is that I think if I were speaking for the neighbors, I would want the fence.
Okay.
In fact, I'd be angry with you if you didn't put the fence in. But I'm trying to reason in my own mind if that's sufficient. If the use of the property is sufficient to overcome the obstacles of the ordinance. I guess I'm looking for my cohorts here to see what comments they have.
I'm okay with the court. I'm okay, in terms of the impervious surface and the other variances. The fence is the one I'm struggling with. That's a pretty big fence.
and that's the reason why I really wanted to make it attractive with the vine and other flowers and the vine, and when it's green, it's a pretty private corner as it is. When it's green, you can't see anything anyway.
Yeah, you got a lot of trees around there, in the adjacent yards at least.
Right.
How long do you said your boy is 13?
He's 12.
He's 12? Any more coming along?
No, I'm trying not to.
I'm trying not to get
We
personal.
plan
but
on
I just wanted
staying
to
there
get
until
an
he
idea.
graduates from high school.
I just wanted to get an
Yeah.
idea of whether we've got a temporary situation.
No. Well, I don't think it's temporary.
There'll be grandkids or something someday, or others. come
Yeah,
along,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm a coach too, so I coach a lot of the kids, and I can't, I watch these kids grow up, and we play ball, and then they come into my house to swim.
Yeah.
We can play ball and swim and barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
Yeah, you apparently, the ones on the right side here are younger yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I could see that happening for years and years to come.
I don't have any questions. I got just a question of Paul. I mean, can you just recap those variances one more time for me, Paul?
Sure. So the fence height, 6 feet going to 15 feet.
Yeah.
The impervious coverage, it's an R1 district, so 50% max. He's showing 57% impervious,
Yeah.
so he's over by 7%. The installation of the basketball court should be at 4 feet from both the side yard and rear yard. They're at 0 in both cases. And the number of accessory structures, there's the pool, the shed, and the court would be the 3rd accessory use.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have any more questions.
any more questions?
No.
Okay, sir, if you could have a seat, talk it over.
So,
Sir, did you want to say
I
anything?
just live across the street. Like I said, he's got a good idea because Dawson Street is a pain in the butt. The traffic out there is atrocious. Speed limit doesn't even exist. And for the kids to be playing in the front yard or to put a hoop up in the front is ball rolling in the street or something like that.
Right.
It's just
yeah,
not
better,
a good thing.
better it going in the neighbor's garden than out in the street, right? But
That's true, this is Dawson.
I guess looking at this, I mean, there's a couple of things, and no disrespect to our rules and regulations, but, I don't see, the little court as an accessory use per se. I mean, it's just like, you're thinking about basketball, right?
Right.
And then it's already impervious, even though you may be landscaping now, and did you put in the pool, or has the pool been there? Was the pool?
The pool's been there.
The pool was there, so he's got the hand he's dealt is what he's working with. I think is maximizing it. The only concern I really got is that fence height as well. And I guess I would be willing to say yes to it with the plan he's put up, provided that we get he gets an actual written sign off by the two adjacent owners that are affected on the side and in the back. If they say, yeah, we're good with this, we think it's a sound idea.
We want this fence, or this is preferred option.
Yeah, then I'd be okay with it, as opposed to just saying, yeah, well, they didn't show up tonight, but let's suddenly they've got a green wall in their backyard or something like that.
I like that idea. I could live with that idea.
Should we just, how the mechanics of what Noel is proposing, does that mean we should defer the consideration of this whole item until he does that? Or can we impose that as our conditions of granting the variance?
Depends on your comfort level, I guess.
I'm comfortable in granting the variance subject to the petitioner delivering to you letters from the adjacent property owners saying they're okay with it.
Specify, or if you want that to say a certain thing, but we can take it in as staff and we'll verify it, and that could be a condition.
Yeah, as long as they're okay with that.
Okay. Does that seem reasonable?
It does.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay,
I think that's a good suggestion.
I would move then approval of the variances as requested, subject to the petitioner delivering to staff a letter from the adjacent owners that they're okay with the height of that fence.
Do you provide the letter for me to have him sign?
No, you just ask them to communicate, or even communicate to staff that they're okay with that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an affidavit, but something in writing that they would sign and indicate their address, the date.
Okay.
Maybe lay out the circumstance that this is going to be a 15-foot tall fence.
Yeah. I, Joe Smith, own this property, and I'm okay with the fence between me and this address being 16 feet high for the basketball court.
So you want the neighbor on the west side?
And yeah, the two sides the two neighbors that are affected by that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just so we know they're okay, because this is a pretty extraordinarily
Gotcha.
high fence here.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will second the motion.
Good. So I was wondering.
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded to grant the, let me try to rephrase it, to grant the variances as requested with the condition that the applicant provide city with written evidence of approval of the adjacent property owners, which would be 1859 and the other guy on the other side.
Right.
Yeah, immediately south, right?
Are there-
And their consent, is that?
Yeah, their approval of it, I guess, right?
Yep.
Or support for it, or however they want to phrase that.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Sure.
You have your variance with conditions.
So when you're ready, just stop in the office, you have those documents, and we'll share with the inspectors.
Okay.
Fourth floor, City Hall.
Okay. So I get that fourth floor, and then,
I think you talked to Chad down there.
yep, I did.
Communicate with him about what happened, and you'll need to still do a site plan and get permits from him.
Okay.
So I would do it when you have those letters in hand.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
That's just for the fence. I can have everybody start doing everything else.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, we like
but it's
condition the
conditions.
fence,
Well,
right?
Maybe
I
we
don't
should
know.
clarify.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the fence is subject to the neighbors saying yes, not the whole
Right,
shebang.
I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That is the way you said it. so
Yes.
just have to make it clear. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, everything's approved.
Yeah.
The fence subject to the neighbor's approval.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Unless we have anything else on the agenda, do we?
Nope,
just the next meeting.
just that there's another meeting in a month, 5 weeks. I'll second it.
Okay.
All those in favor, leave.
All those in favor? Aye, we're done.
I was on a conference call and it's like, somebody